One. Welcome, guys, to the Tavern podcast, and you guys always just know that you guys are always welcome in to subscribe to this podcast. It's going to be uploaded every Sunday, usually, hopefully around noonish, depending on the work schedule at the time, but hopefully around there. You guys are, but in this tavern, we always have guests, and you guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves now.
Hey guys, this is G Shadow 007 here. How's it going?
It's your hostess with the mostest, Jeff.
Hey, it's your resident Sony fanboy, Steven here.
Ooh, I like that.
You're stealing Glues' title, Steven?
Sorry, girls.
Shut up.
I got it first.
Yo, I'm just Matt.
Uh, I'm Colton. I don't really have a title. Actually, I take that back. This is number one Phil
The
Spencer
Cortana
fan.
porn masturbator. Oh,
I don't feel like that's a good summation.
that's pretty good.
But
I liked
that's
Phil
gonna be a
Spencer
good
fan.
podcast
I
story.
Oh wait, I finally thought of a title for myself, but it's kind of stupid, so I won't say it.
What? Say
That
it.
was
Your
thank
friendly
you for saying
neighborhood sociopath.
Oh, that's nice.
Dude, that's literally you.
Hey, it's no worse than mine. I'm the hostess with the mostest.
What's
You
Tyler's
guys steal
name?
my title.
Title.
I'm the host,
Yeah,
Jeffrey.
it's Tyler. But
Yeah, but he's the hostess.
with the mostest, you can't leave out the mostest.
Yeah, but you don't know about the mostest yet.
All right,
We're already
guys.
off the rails.
So you guys know the drill. If you haven't, we usually talk about the 5 biggest gaming topics that I find, and then I go on and I look for the 5 weirdest questions that I find. Most of the time, you should ask celebrities these questions, so it's very interesting. And these questions you should never really ask a celebrity. But we have some pretty decent big gaming topics. So let's get on probably to the biggest one. Avengers games are going to be made by Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics, and that's pretty big considering now Marvel's kind of somewhat whoring themselves out with now the Avengers games, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, then Guardians of the Galaxy, and now the Amazing Spider-Man. And what's your guys' opinion on that? Because I think they're whoring themselves out.
Well, all I will say is that if it's being developed by Square Enix, at least that's what you're saying, it's probably going to be a
Then
good
it's
game
gonna be-
because it's by a good developer.
Oh,
Most of the
I was
time.
gonna say it's gonna be a fucking weeb game. Cause Square Enix is the biggest weeb company of all time.
Well, it's Square Enix is the person
Well-
publishing it, but they've got their sub companies that are actually making it are Crystal Dynamics and Eidos. Montreal. Is it Montreal? No, it's not. Is it Eidos
Yeah,
Montreal?
no, it's Eidos or Eidos Montreal.
So
who
they
does
were
Deus Ex.
Crystal Dynamics. I know for sure was working on Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is a fantastic game, by the way. And Eidos Montreal has worked on Tomb Raider and a whole bunch of other different games that I can't name off the top of my head. I don't know. I
Because
think we
they're
should
not
give them a
Tomb
chance.
Raider.
That's true.
I think it's about time, honestly, because if you really look at Marvel's gaming history, their bread and butter's been Spider-Man. They've been making a crap ton of Spider-Man games since I was a kid back in the 90s. They had a couple Marvel's Avengers like Ultimate Alliance and X-Men, kind of dungeon crawler kind of games.
Yeah, those weren't that
And
bad.
they're not bad, not great though, and that was kind of it. And with the resurgence of comic book video game movies recently, with like the Rocksteady Batman games, first and foremost, at this point, Marvel,
Absolutely.
for better or worse, is a big player in the movie scene. Their movies are very successful. There's comics sell a boatload. Like, why not try to bring kind of a shared cinematic universe kind of thing to video games? It makes sense.
It's almost kind of weird, Marvel has been nailing the Marvel movies has been nailing the movie industry for a long time now. Yet most of their games, as of recently, have been mediocre.
It's free to
Oh,
play.
Lego
exception of a
Marvel,
few.
The Avengers. That was my game of whatever year it came out.
DC, on the other hand, has
decent
mediocre, for the most part, mediocre films, but their games were mostly good, mostly because of
yeah.
the Batman games.
Disney Infinity.
We don't talk about that crap.
It's
They're
the
just continuing
greatest
it.
Marvel video game of all time.
But here's my
Ultimately, that's
question
Oh,
to
fine.
you
oh.
guys: is there a point for you to get marveled out? Because there is a point now in the movies that I'm like, okay, what's next? Like, I feel like somewhat after Avengers 3, I'm like done. Like, I don't care about Captain Marvel and all this other stuff afterwards.
And I
In the
think that's
video
also a problem
games,
too.
Nah,
Oversaturation. Once something becomes super popular, and you get it year after year after year, it just becomes oversaturated and whatnot. Uh, which is why I was actually kind of disappointed when they announced MVC Infinity. They said it was going to be based off the movie universe as opposed to the comic universe.
Yeah,
Because
as
I
downhill as
just
the
still don't
comic
mind
universe
that.
is gone, I mean,
I don't mind
if you
that
looked at the
because
roster from 3, like it would have, it's
well,
better to go
see,
off the comics.
it's to get mass appeal, honestly. You know, it's like,
exactly.
oh, I
I
love
don't.
the movies. Like, more people love the movies than the comic books, you know?
I mean,
Like,
I don't mind.
just.
I don't mind it because the MCU is pretty good for the most part.
But they did say also that there are still chances of, like, properties that aren't owned by the MCU still appearing because, like, those properties are only, like, not
Like
able to be
X-Men,
used in movies. Yeah.
like
Like, X-Men
like
could
X-Men
still show up in the
Yeah,
game.
I
Yeah.
now
and
I don't want
Deadpool because
anyone.
those were by Fox.
Yes, but I did want to say that the X-Men characters, what I've read is that they were thinking of bringing like the Marvel vs. X-Men game and bringing that to a console version, and then you get as well as the DLC characters for Fox, like Deadpool, Wolverine, X-23, and Magneto, and bring those over into the game as well.
yeah, in terms of rights, Fox pretty much only exclusively has the movie rights to the X-Men and Fantastic Four characters. They don't have comic book rights. They don't have toy rights. They don't have video game rights. That all still is with Marvel. So yeah, in the video game space, Marvel can absolutely use those characters. The key thing though is will they? Because if you look in the trends in comic books, since Marvel doesn't have the movie rights, they have almost effectively sidelined the X-Men franchise as a whole. They're very minuscule now in
Oh
terms of where
yeah.
they've been in the past. And Fantastic Four, I don't even know if they're together right now, if they're even still like in a book form.
Fantastic
And so
Four.
Marvel kind of just like has taken this approach in the comic books, like, oh, we don't own them in the movies, so they just like don't exist anymore in our comics. It's kind of weird, but so it could go either way. They could take that same approach with the video games. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. That's kind of a way to play hardball to just get X-Men and Fantastic Four back under their umbrella. I'd be interested to see what y'all's thoughts are in terms of what kind of game is this going to be? Looking at the pedigree of the studios, what they specialize in,
Uh,
and they're working on it together to make this one Avengers game, at least one Avengers game. Like, what's the gameplay going to look like?
I think they're just gonna remake
considering
Marvel
that.
Ultimate Alliance. They're just gonna say we can do it better.
Oh. Oh.
That's
Yeah.
that's not
Not a
what they
good
should do.
idea. I don't
No,
think that was a good idea because
Yeah,
I
I
played
mean,
Marvel
we're
Ultimate
looking at
Alliance.
we look at their pedigree, and if okay, I'm actually gonna look up EOS Montreal. Somebody talk over for a second because I don't even know what.
Because I
because
played-
Eidos has experience
played
in
Marvel.
RPGs with RPG style with Deus Ex, and then they could even just make the game third person and say you can control one special hero. They can make a decent, like, I guess DC Universe Online, but I've never played it. I've seen like little bits and pieces of gameplay. I know the Xbox version doesn't work for shit, but
Should I give my opinion
it-
since I probably played the most of DC Universe Online?
yeah, go ahead, rip that game to shreds,
DC,
Matthew.
Yeah, go for it.
It,
It's a boring piece of
Tell us
shit.
about the game.
Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, yes it is. It's extremely boring. The customization's fun for like 30 minutes. There's
But you
not
have
much
to
else you
buy
can choose
all the
from.
cool things.
There, most of the customizations are blocked by a paywall. And the
And we're talking about DCUO, right?
DCO online.
Okay.
On console.
Well, that's an
I might
MMO
put that
though.
out. It
That's
might
like
be
a
better on
PC MMO.
PC. Yeah, if it's on PC, maybe I understand it could run better. because on console, which is like my only experience with it, it's just a horrible, horrible game. The waiting time to just get into the servers is just absurd. The game is
I can
laggy
only
as all hell.
imagine that the
Okay.
PC version is 10 times better, but
Yeah,
the
I
PC
So-
version.
assume.
I came up with what I think the game may look like, or what I would
Mhm.
hope it would look like. So they did like Tomb
Okay.
Raider, right? A lot of Tomb Raiders, from what I
Yeah, I
heard
think
with
that's all
Colton.
Crystal
Tomb
Dynamics
Raiders.
has done, right?
So-
Crystal Dynamics has done all the Tomb Raider games, and Eidos Montreal has done 2 Tomb Raiders. The recent
What I
ones.
would like is maybe like a decently well thought out like story based kind of game where each one of like the members of the Avengers has like their own kind of side story, but they all like interconnect, you know? And
Mhm.
then you can like switch out between them during different parts of the game. But you gotta play like all of them to get like the entire story maybe, and it's like third person action. That would be, I think,
What I'm
what
what
I
I'm
think
hoping
would be
for-
ideal.
and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be out of their territory because they never made this type of game before, like an action beat 'em up style game, because that's what a lot of superhero games were. I mean, you look at Spider-Man, you look at Batman, they're mostly combat-oriented style games. I'm hoping that this Avengers game is like that because it will make sense because they're superheroes. But
So you
don't
want a
just
side-scroller?
rip the
I mean-
combat system. But don't just rip the combat system straight from the Arkham games and whatnot. Make it your own. Because
I'd rather see more of like a almost like a Devil May Cry or Bayonetta style combat system. If we're gonna
That's
go
what
for
I
it.
was
There's so
thinking
many-
exactly.
Because the thing is, so many games nowadays, action beat 'em up style games, are copying the Arkham combat, and it's just getting annoying. I mean, not saying that they're terrible. I'm just kind of sick and tired of the same combat over and over again. I'm just like, can we get some innovation for this game? Like something that you wouldn't see in the other beat 'em ups. I'm probably not gonna get
Well,
it,
the
but
other
that's
thing is-
what I hope for.
But question.
Go ahead, Colton.
Wait.
The other thing. Okay, what Tyler?
What if I'm
Yeah.
asking this question? Are characters like Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy going to be left out of the Avengers game and say if you want to play that experience, you have to buy these other games?
Well, you got to think
would say
about
yes.
just from a development level. Most of these characters have not had a good video game. Now, there's been a few Iron Man video games, not good. The Hulk has had 2 good video games, but that was back on the PS2. Hulk
So
Ultimate Destruction on PS2 was good, and then we haven't had a Captain America game, and we haven't had a Thor game. So you've got to think they've got to make it at least 4
There was a Captain
very
America
different
game, by the way.
playstyles.
Yeah.
There was
was
both
Captain
a Thor and
America.
Captain
Oh,
America
no.
game, but they were movie tie-ins, and you know how that always ends up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't good.
Yeah.
So you got to
And then we
think from
talk
these
about-
developers, they've got to develop 4 different playstyles though, 4 different
that's
movesets.
that's what I was gonna link back into after Grules' thing is because if you're gonna do a beat 'em up, you have to make it feel unique. And on the
Yeah,
topic
that's why I
of,
think-
you
of
gotta have every character feel diverse. Like
exactly,
Iron
Iron
Man
Man's
be
not
like
gonna run in there
a
and be
long
like
range-
punching all the time. He's gonna
Yeah.
be using
Have-
his suit's abilities
have-
and flying around and doing that sort of stuff.
have Iron
Yeah,
Man be
long
like a flyer, long range type of character. Have Captain America be like the all rounder who uses fists but can also use his shield to attack enemies. Is Thor still relevant?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thor
I
can
think
be
so.
kind of
Uh,
Yes.
Thor can be like an AOE because of his lightning. He can do like AOE,
Yeah.
kind of multiple enemies at the same time.
Throwing
And
his
Hulk
hammer.
is your
Hulk
Hulk
can be
is in
there.
your face tank,
Yeah. Yeah, so have this playstyles be different and not just the same thing over and over again.
So there's
So my-
actually
Because
a
that- That was the issue I had with Transformers Devastation, where I love the game, but the combat feels similar to when it comes to all of the characters.
Yes, that's very much true, Ghouls. I will say that was probably the best Transformers games. Well, that and Fall of the Cybertron were the 2 best Transformers games by miles.
War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron were actually pretty good.
But
And
yeah, see,
those
I-
were like the 2 best Transformers games since, I'm going to say, that Transformers Armada game that was on the PS2.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so I just think
But,
they're going to take
getting
a
back to
less
the
is
point.
more approach. Yeah, I just don't think unless they're going to be in development for like 10 years. I think they're going to keep the roster pretty slim, but make them diverse.
Yeah.
4 to maybe
I would've-
6 characters, and that's gonna be it. You're not gonna see like, oh, here's the Guardians, here's like Loki, here's Red Skull, here's like all the back catalog, here's Black Panther, here's what. I just don't think they're gonna be able to do that and make them unique enough. Because all of a sudden you're gonna start getting people that are kind of reskins, like Black Panther, Winter Soldier, Captain America. They all are kind of similar. So all of a sudden, are you
Yeah.
just gonna have character skins for character skins, or are you gonna have unique characters? You know.
But there's
I mean,
already something
I'd
that
love to
like,
see like a
that has
four-player
like the whole
co-op.
roster.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
four-player co-op similar to what that Ruby
Like a-
Oh,
game's
that
doing.
would be nice.
Like a Guardians of the Galaxy game. But there's actually, and I guess there isn't. I was gonna find a way to bring this up. I guess this is probably the best way. Pre the Avengers movie, THQ Australia was making an Avengers game. And it's up on Unseen64 for anybody who wants to go look it up. And it's got some development footage and stuff. And it was going to be a first-person, four-player co-op beat 'em up. And it nails a lot of what we're talking about. Like, every character is unique. Cap can give orders and fight with his shield and is more, melee-based like that. Hulk's super melee-based. Iron Man flies around and plays more of a support role. A lot of stuff like
shooting them
that.
lasers.
And
Wasn't
it
that
looks
really
really
weird
good, especially
connection?
for a prototype 360 PS3 game.
So I guess the issue was THQ croaked.
THQ closed the studio before they croaked.
Ah.
Which was sad.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and
Development for a year, but it looks pretty good.
we're gonna move on from the Avengers. Now there's a shit ton of trailers that did release this week. The biggest one, without a doubt, being Arcane's next project from Dishonored 2 in Prey. And you guys don't know what Prey is. Prey's a game that I don't. Did Bethesda own the rights originally to Prey, or did they buy
was
them?
It was like
They.
I've seen gameplay of it.
I think they
bought
bought
them
it.
from
See-
Machine Games.
The only thing I remember from Prey is that sequence that had that song by Blue Oyster Cult. But
Don't Fear the Reaper.
from what I saw, but from
Oh,
what
that's a
I
great
saw,
song.
it actually looked like a pretty good game.
Great song.
And
I
I
remember
heard they were
from the
going to do a
original one.
sequel, but
So-
that never happened.
So for anybody who wants the backstory of Prey real fast, I'm kind of a 3D Realms aficionado.
Go for it.
Essentially what that game was is back when 3D Realms was in the middle of the development hell known as Duke Nukem Forever. They had the Duke Nukem Forever engine they were working on circa maybe 2005, 2006. They wanted somebody. They got this engine. They can't finish the game. They're trying to get some money, so they licensed this engine out to, I believe it's Human Head Studios. And they make Prey, and Prey plays a lot like what Duke Nukem Forever would have, and has a lot of really cool, really weird interactive elements. Like in that early sequence that Gruels and Jay were just talking about, you can just go play poker on one of the machines, or you can go sit at the bar and talk to your girlfriend, and that sort of stuff. Really cool game, had a really interesting open-ended ending, had a lot of weird mix of like Native American spiritual elements and aliens, which was, I mean, unique at the time. And then it comes around to play Prey 2, which is a very different game. It was actually going to be almost like a Deus Ex sort of thing. It had a lot of cool features, like you could, all in first person, hang off of a railing and peek up over and shoot enemies and that sort of stuff. A lot of cool movement elements. You played as a bounty hunter in you would essentially be like a bounty hunter in a place like Coruscant or something, but in the Prey universe, and it was really cool. Defunct, unfortunately, by Bethesda due to the game having Duke Nukem Forever style issues of technology was constantly evolving. They could constantly make the game better, so they constantly did, and they never finished anything or released anything. And then we get around
And
to
of
this
course-
Prey.
And yes,
And
so
then, of
now
course,
you guys
they
know.
revived the whole thing.
Oh, go ahead.
And then, of course, they revived the whole thing with this new Prey. And I saw the trailer. At first, I was bewildered at what I saw, because it looked like Bioshock in space to me. And it still kind of looks like that, although I'm pretty sure it looks, from what I saw now, it looks a hell of a lot more different and a hell of a lot more cooler, but I dig the trailer. I'm kind of skeptical about the gameplay, though. I still gotta see more of that before I can make a judge if I'm interested in the game or not. But I'm digging what I'm seeing so far.
And so,
Yeah, I
Okay.
wasn't interested in it at all. Like, I had heard of the first one, and I heard people really loved it and they wanted a second one, and it never came out. and I really just wasn't interested. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this actually looks pretty cool. I like,
But of
yeah.
course, trailers are always deceiving. So I'm gonna wait until I see a bit more before I make a final judgment.
I mean, it's
Yeah, from
certainly a
what
unique looking concept.
yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't give a rip about Prey. I'm probably even more apathetic than I think some of the other people in the group are. But not the most recent trailer, but the trailer before it really sold me because it kind of reminded me of BioShock in a good way because we haven't had BioShock in a long time. Infinite's good, but it's not as good as the original. BioShock 2, not bad. It's an action game, but we haven't had a good BioShock game since what is that, 2007? And this kind of reminds me of it in a lot of ways. So I'm excited. I'm typically excited about it. I definitely want to wait for reviews, but everything I've seen so far looks like they've got something good on their hands. So I'm interested to see where they take it and if they can deliver on what they've kind of shown.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, a game where you can literally transform into a coffee mug. It looks like a pretty cool game.
This is true.
Oh yeah.
All right. So I
Uh,
guess
yeah.
next one.
Wait, Matthew. Did Matthew ever give an opinion?
Doesn't have an opinion.
Has Matthew spoken?
I tried
This
to,
one.
but whatever.
Now go.
Sorry about that, Matthew.
No, honestly, I honestly don't know. Like from what I've seen from the first Prey, I know it's completely different, but I have no idea how I feel about this trailer or how I feel. The gameplay wise is nice. It's pretty and all, but I just kind of feel like the gameplay mechanics of it will kind of dry out as soon as like maybe an hour into the game.
And that's my main fear. That it's just
Yeah.
gonna feel like
Yeah.
another one of those first-person shooters. Like, I like BioShock Infinity and all, but I like the BioShock series and all, but you start getting tired of the same style of combat over and over and over. And I hope
Exactly.
there's something Prey does that brings new life to the think out of the box creative FPSs,
Okay.
like
Well,
over the top abilities and whatnot.
you guys know my opinion on Prey. The viewers, at least. If you guys watch my top 10, it's number 10 after Scalebound got canceled. But I'm absolutely stoked for this game. I trust Arcane with anything because they've made two incredible games back to back, and I have full confidence they're going to do the same with Prey. Uh,
I mean, they're taking their time on this too, because it's still when is Prey releasing?
Now
When release
this
date?
is the big thing. It's releases May the 5th, but you're going to be able to play it on May the 4th at 11 p.m. or whatever.
Okay, so that's. I mean, we don't know how long this game's in development. It was announced at E3 of last year or E3 of this year.
E3 last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, no,
last
I mean E3. I was at E3 2016 or E3 2015. So it was E3
E3
2016.
2017 hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. I'm still thinking it's 2016. I still can't believe it's 2017. No, but that's. We don't know how long the game's been in development. I assume not that. It probably, what are we thinking, like 2-3 years probably at this point. It's a different team, is it not, than Dishonored?
No,
Yeah.
these are made by the same. It's exactly same team that made Dishonored.
That's
Seriously?
interesting then,
Same team.
because
That's very interesting.
that's two very different projects for one team to be working on at the same time.
I think they have full confidence in them, though. They've knocked out of the two other.
Yeah, no, I mean it's. We'll
They've
see.
knocked it out of the park.
I want
So
the game to be good for sure, but
It's like one team develops a stealth first person game, while the other creates a traditional first-person shooter game.
I mean it's traditional to an extent, but it looks like it's got some
To an
different
extent.
stuff going on.
all right, we'll move on to trailer number 2. You guys know I played Lords of the Fallen here on the channel. It's a Dark Souls clone. I liked it. But I think it needed work, which was interesting because I looked up who made this game, because if you guys know, this game was announced via an IGN first, and it's made by the people who made it, and then the minute this game got announced, they have not spoken about Lords of the Fallen 2. So the game Surge, if you guys don't know what it is, it's a game where it's basically sci-fi Dark Souls, but looks to be a little
Yeah,
bit
so instead
faster
of
than Lords of the Fallen.
So yeah, instead of being completely inspired by Dark Souls like Lords of the Fallen was, we're going to take the Dark Souls concept and put it in a cyberpunkish future.
Which
Yeah,
means they're still
Lovely.
inspired by From Software because that's what From Software now wants to do, since they're kind of done with
and
Dark Souls for the moment.
well,
Well,
so I
Armored
was watching
Core is a
gameplay of
different
it,
game.
because they have like 20 minutes of gameplay or whatever that was
Yeah.
from Gamescom, and it's actually pretty cool. Now there are some things in it that I'm not too sure about, like you have to get blueprints for certain things, and you have to craft them like in a specific area, like on the map, which
Yeah.
that seems like it could be kind of annoying. But it's also
Uh,
got some pretty cool stuff, like you can target specific body parts, like to attack.
That's pretty cool.
And instead of
Yeah,
light and
that's
heavy
pretty
attacks, it's like horizontal and vertical attacks.
It
So
almost
like
seems
if
like
you're
more of
trying to
like a beat 'em up game than it is a Souls game in a lot of cases.
so
No,
the
honestly,
cool
I'm
thing
looking
is
at the
though,
gameplay.
like you can target like their helmet, so you can cut their head off, and basically you can get the blueprint for their helmet. So you can get the blueprint for, to my understanding at least, like any part you want as long as you target it. So it's kind of cool. Like I guess it's easier to, if you want to get specific things. You just
That's
got to
kind
be
of a
able to
cool idea.
create it from there.
Because that's a Souls thing, right? For the people who want to play fashion Souls, and it's like I want this set of armor because of these statistics, or just because of the way it looks. You're gonna sit there grinding that enemy for that armor set for a long time, usually, if it even drops it at all.
There are a couple of things I hope for when it comes to this game, and I hope that the team learned from Lords of the Fallen because I played it myself. One, I hope the combat feels a bit more fluent because the combat in Lords of the Fallen felt really stiff.
From
Yeah, I
from
agree
that
on that.
20-minute gameplay
Stiff
Jeffrey
too.
was talking about, it does look like it's going to be a lot more fluent. Granted, I imagine they're playing this on like the highest setting and really took the polish of whatever setting, but it
That
does
actually-
look a lot more. It looks a lot more faster, and looks a lot. I think it looks really neat just because that hasn't been done before.
I was actually that actually segues to my second thing I hope: better frame rate. The console versions of Lords of the Fallen ran at 30 frames per second, and sometimes that dips, which is bad. I hope they improve the frame rate for that and kind of tweak it so it doesn't feel as miserable. Of course, PC's not going to have this problem because, depending on its power, you can get a crap load of frame rates.
You can also keep a stable frame rate if you just turn down the graphics settings,
Yeah, that too.
which may or may not be a thing we
Which-
can do on something like PS4 Pro or
Which is-
Scorpio, but the point is that we shouldn't have to. Like, the game should run stable.
Yeah, like make sure you port it to where it'll have stable frame rate. I mean, granted, I am used to playing games with low frame rate because I do play games like on PS1, PS2, and whatnot. But this is a new generation where 60 frames per second is something that we're all accustomed to and that we all are a lot more used to. And seeing a game chog at 30 frames per second, just like it makes you drowsy. Like when I play games that can barely run 60 frames on my computer, I just get a headache because the frame rate's just so choppy. It's like, what am I looking at? So I hope they
Yeah,
fix
see,
that.
I'm not that weird about frame rate, but I want it locked. It needs to either be a locked 30 or a locked 60. I don't like
I mean,
any dippage.
I mean, I try playing Borderlands 2 on PC. It never dipped below 30, but it still tends to go to 30. And whenever I was waving my mouse around and seeing the whole thing stutter, I'm like, oh, my eyes, make it stop. That's why. When it comes to games, I usually try to make it as stable as possible because I just can't stand that. I just can't stand
Yeah.
it.
I think it
That's just
depends on the
me,
type
though.
of game also.
Yeah, it also
Like
depends
for a
on the type of
shooter,
game.
like 60 is like without a doubt.
Jeffrey, you
Yeah,
realize that
because you need
everyone
to
can
hit the
see
For
that,
like
texture.
something like
right?
Uncharted or like Rise of the Tomb Raider, 30 a locked 30 is probably okay for the type of gameplay you're
It's
doing.
okay. I don't mind. It's just that first this is just kind of like from a guy coming from a guy that played shooters. Uh, I like 60 frames per second because it makes me feel fluent. It makes me feel I'm incredibly accurate with my shots. Doesn't feel laggy at all. Doesn't feel choppy at all. 60 frames per second in a shooter is very important, especially when it comes to modern day shooters, because it's just, ugh. Especially when you're using a mouse, because that gets nauseating if you're waving your mouse around 30 frames per second, and it's like, headache. But of course, this game is not a shooter. It's a Dark Souls style game. So if it's 30 frames, fine. I can live with that, but I hope it doesn't dip to where it becomes
Yeah.
unplayable. Now my third thing is to fix the new game plus to where you can actually beat it with a certain class with different classes. If there is different classes in this game, because when I tried New Game Plus in Doors of the Fallen, when I was trying to fight the last guy, I couldn't beat him because he was just way too buffed up for New Game Plus to the point where he's pretty much unbeatable unless you're playing the Knight class or the guy with the giant axe.
Is
So I
that
hope
so much a
they
class issue, or is it a you didn't
it
spec your
is
character
because
right issue?
it is because you should be able to, regardless of what you do with your character, you should be able to go through the game like normal.
I
You know,
mean, I guess you're correct.
you should be able to go through a game with the most minimal equipment as possible. I mean, look at the Mega Man X, look at the Mega Man games. You can go through those games without using the special weapons and still beat it. It's gonna be hard, but you can still beat it. You can go through RPGs low level if you're skilled enough. If you're confident
Exactly.
enough, you should be able to do it.
Um.
With Lords of the Fallen, they really should have tweaked it to where it's beatable with any style of class you choose. And I hope that they learn that mistake and fix it for this new game that's coming out. I mean,
So
motherfucker,
rules.
we've seen people beat games using you beat the Dark Souls games using that one class that's like a barbarian. I forgot the name of it, but people have beaten the game with that class alone. So
Yeah, but
it
people have
should be
beaten
Okay.
Dark
possible.
Souls naked at Soul Level 1, New Game Plus 7 with a broken sword, so it's kind of a
Okay.
hard distinction to make.
So what I
And
was
they're
gonna say
crazy.
though is going back to to the uh to classes. Um, I don't think there there are gonna be classes based on the way the gameplay looked, and also just like a tech setting. It doesn't give as much room for classes as a fantasy setting would. Like fantasy setting, there's clerics, spellcasters, pyromancers, right? But in a technological setting, there's not as many ways you could do classes. Like you could do hacker, you could do maybe ranged and close range melee, but you can't do really more than that. So I don't see them I don't know. I wouldn't put it out with if I could only do 3 classes, but I guess they could. But to me, it doesn't seem like that kind of setting gives as much room to create classes that are extremely diverse.
You could do a buffer though. If it's technologically advanced, you could do people. If you ever play Mass Effect, you can do stuff like overload and you know,
Yeah, there were a lot of different classes in Mass Effect, but they were more like there was biotic and that sort of stuff, and it was what was
which
the
is like
lore
a weird space
explanation for
magic.
that exactly?
It's
Because they were just
surgical
kind of there.
enhancements, biological
Okay,
enhancements.
makes sense. Makes
So
sense.
I think they could do. It just depends if it fits the world or not. I don't think they should cap Mass Effect, but I think they could do. They have enough material to do at least 3 or 4 RPG classes. So
All right, Matt, did you
Yeah.
get your
What-
opinion in?
alright.
Because I'm pretty sure you still didn't do it.
Come on, Matthew.
He talked about it a little bit. Oh, he talked about Prey.
Yeah.
He didn't talk about this.
Matt, are you gonna
By
give
the
your
way-
opinion, or are we gonna move on?
Move on.
Well, by the way, in that trailer when he was being experimented on the table, kind of gave me Kamen Rider flashbacks. Just saying.
Kamen Rider flashbacks?
Oh, yeah. I guess.
Because
Kamen
the
Rider
earlier
flashbacks.
Kamen Rider, because the earlier Kamen Riders, they got experimented on and turned into
They're
cyborgs. That's how they got their
cybernetic
powers.
humans, yeah.
Kind of like this guy in the game.
Oh, I see.
Except
Okay.
they don't
Also,
dress
just
that
kind
guy
of
up as a
watching the
grasshopper.
gameplay and watching like the boss fight and everything, and it seems very like very soul-like, but not in a bad way.
Okay, I guess we're moving on. Now, you guys know, here at the podcast, we love fighting games. And you guys do know, you probably do know that Tekken 7 has its trailer and then its release date. And you're looking at the second placement. You're hearing the third placement in Matthew and then last place in Jeffrey. We love Tekken. I'm excited for Tekken. I think this game's going to kick ass. And the story trailer, it's having a full-blown single player, which fighting games always need to have, and they're realizing it and taking NetherRealm's ideas. That's my thing. Tekken 7 going to be badass. And it releases on June 2nd.
I've
Yay,
seen
we finally get it like a
I've
year
seen
after
the
Japan.
game. I've seen the game thanks to Evo, and it looks beautiful from what I saw. Graphically, it looks stunning. The gameplay, it looks like it's pretty much what it's always been. It's Tekken. You know, I've had very little experience with Tekken. I think the closest experience I ever got was at a local arcade, and that's about it. Where I usually just pick King and steamroll people, and that's about it. What really interests me though is the inclusion of Akuma from Street Fighter. That's
Yeah, it
what
was
got me
weird.
interested.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it
but
seems like an
weird to
interesting
see him too.
crossover. Was Tekken X
Well-
Street Fighter not a thing?
No, they are
No,
working.
they're still gonna do it. They're just not working on
It is going to be worked on as soon as Tekken 7 has completed development entirely. So after all the DLC and everything, they are working.
Work on Soul Calibur. You fuck.
Yeah, at this
Please,
point,
yes,
I'd rather
please,
have,
please make a Soul
Calibur.
Calibur that is not free to play and single player only.
And
It,
only on PlayStation and is garbage. You know,
Please,
Yeah.
please just nix all of those things, except the Soul
Please.
Calibur name.
we want Soul Calibur 6.
I want the actual Street Fighter Cross Tekken or Tekken X Street Fighter, whatever the hell it's called. Tekken, yeah, it's Tekken X Street
That can be
Fighter.
after Soul Calibur.
No, get that to me now, because that okay. Soul Calibur 6 hasn't even been announced. Tekken X Street Fighter was announced when Street Fighter X Tekken came out, like in 2011 or 10.
Also, I just love how the 20th wait, what was it? I think 20th anniversary of Tekken. I mean, not Soul Calibur. I forget what anniversary it was, but it was like, you know, at the end of last year, like December. And they're like, so what are we going to announce?
They announced T-shirts.
They announced a slots game.
Wait, what? Oh,
Yeah.
biggest punch
Yup,
in the balls
and
since
it's
the Metal Gear
Japan
Solid
exclusive
Pachenkos.
too. Yeah, Pachenko, that's it.
Yay! Well, at least the PS4 is region lock, not region. At least PS4 doesn't have region locking.
The key thing with
it's like
Tekken,
they're
'cause I
like,
played it a
hey
lot
fans,
back in PS2.
and then they punch you in the balls. That's what.
Yeah,
they
I
do.
think the key thing with Tekken is they've never really elevated or evolved the gameplay like Street Fighter has. Street Fighter went through a monumental change with Street Fighter 4. And Tekken's never done that. Tekken has pretty consistently since the PS1, PS2 days has been the same game. It just gets
But they
prettier and
get
prettier,
new
and
characters.
the story gets more and more incoherent because it's just it's too complex. Like it's just too
Nah.
much backstabbing.
No, no,
back
no.
and
I can
forth.
I can describe the entire
It's
Tekken
pretty
storyline
simple.
for you. All right.
All right, I've got 5 seconds.
All right. So okay.
It's gonna be nonsense.
Heihachi is the father of Kazuma, and Jin and has the sister of the Kazuma, and I don't know how to really explain it, but Jin also is the devil.
See what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, it's pretty.
Jin,
it's a
Jins
very
are
honestly-
essentially demons in like Middle Eastern folklore, so that makes sense.
It's
basically
it's
they
kind
need
of
to do
bizarre.
a
I don't know.
reboot.
And then
The story is
also,
very incoherent.
there's,
So
like, this
it needs to be
one-
Bizarre.
simplified.
Well, then again, most fighting game stories are incoherent. I think the only ones that aren't incoherent or like full of problems are the Mortal Kombat story and possibly Guilty Gear story.
In
Yeah, but
Those are
Guilty
the
Gear
only
is
two
outside of
examples I can
fighting
think of.
games too.
Street
other
Fighter
Guilty
is
Gear
not
Yeah.
that difficult.
Yeah, Guilty Gear did have like that one-off game, and then they didn't do another fighting game until like 2014 with the release of Xrd Sign. But aside from that, Tekken's story is a mess, honestly. Of course, the story isn't always what makes a fighting game; it's the fighting mechanics itself. And from what I've seen, it looks like Tekken.
Well, yeah,
It looks
on a
like what it's
mechanical
always
level,
been.
I've always enjoyed Tekken's fighting more. It always felt a little bit faster, more twitch based, where Street Fighter is a little bit slower, more methodical. And both have
Yeah.
different pluses and minuses, but I just kind of like the quickness of Tekken. I've always liked it.
Yeah. I've always been a fan of fast-paced fighters, whether it be the Marvel vs. Capcom games, Guilty
Yes.
Gear, uh, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also down with the more slow-paced stuff when I have the need for that. I think Tekken 7 is
We're-
going to do great.
The problem
looks
is
great.
that
Yeah.
fighters were perfected back on the GameCube with Smash Brothers Melee, and then that was it. Like, we reached perfection.
I mean,
Yes.
fighting games pretty much got perfected.
Melee
during
is
the 90s, thanks to Street Fighter
overrated.
2.
Steven, I love you, man.
It's Melee's
Finally.
the best fighting game of all time.
Melee
Finally.
is
There's
a reason-
overrated.
Yeah.
It's
I think
still at Evo and stuff.
Here's a-
Like 15 years.
That's
later.
because people bitch
No, I
over a
always-
mechanic.
Yeah,
It's-
honestly,
Here's
I
the thing.
mean,
No, it's
Don't
that they
be
took
upset you
out
can't win.
mechanics.
No, it's them bitching over
That's-
a mechanic. You're not gonna get me past it. They are bitching over a mechanic in the game.
I still
It'd be like
Right.
Call of Duty removing the ability to shoot.
I still
What?
to this day debate whether or not it's a fighting game, because that fighting game though. I mean, yeah, it has fighting moves. It plays like a fighter, but it feels more like a platforming, party style thing because it's meant to be played with 4 people. It just so happens that it got super popular that 1v1s became a thing, and of
Nah,
course
see, that's
exploded
why
into
it's
tournaments and
great.
whatnot.
You can play it both ways. You can play it as a fun party game, and it can also be one of the most difficult and like highly advanced fighting games.
And both are extremely rage-inducing.
To
Smash.
some people, at least.
I kind of want to add a debate segment here, but I'm going to hold my tongue and just tell you, by Smash 4, it's a much better game.
Well,
I
that-
disagree.
Well, of course it's going to be. It's a game from like 10
It's
years
not
later.
a better game.
Yes, it is. It has
it's a
no
good game.
characters.
It's better than
They have
Brawl.
no right to
All
bitch
more
anymore. They
characters makes a
removed
better
tripping.
game. Yeah.
that's
got a lot of
Here's the
definitely-
thing,
Power
Power.
Characters is a better game.
It's kind of unfair to say that it's a better game compared to Melee because you're comparing a console that's like 2 generations after the other. That's
Yeah, I
kind of
don't think more
a tad
characters
bit
is a sound
unfair.
enough argument.
Yeah, you
And
know
the
what?
key
Granted,
thing
Let's
that
was-
just,
we-
we're getting off track here. Let's just skip over this.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
This needs to be a
overall, I think-
podcast by itself.
Overall, I think Tekken 7, as I said before, I think Tekken 7 is gonna be a good game. I'll probably pick it up, see what it's all about, and if I like it, I'll become a Tekken fan.
Yeah, I mean,
But
uh, If it has more characters than Tekken 6, it's already a good game, according to Tyler.
Yeah,
You know.
game of the year. It's got 30 characters in it.
Hey, no. Listen, they are bitching over a
No,
mechanic that
we're
was
skipping
removed.
it.
They need to stop bitching. That's the only reason people play Melee anymore.
Removing a mechanic is setting a game back, is all I'm saying.
So they added tripping to just say you can't 100% get your ass kicked.
Oh well,
No,
tripping
See,
is the
I-
worst
okay.
thing that's ever happened.
I
They
don't know.
removed it in
I don't
4
know
because it
as
was so
much
bad
about
in
fighting
3.
games, but
Yeah,
I've played the
tripping is
crap out of
stupid.
Brawl, and I know what tripping is, and I can honestly say I have never tripped. Not
Yeah, whenever I've
once.
played it too, I mean, given it's not that much, because I only played it, because I hated that game. I only played it when, people forced me to. I've never tripped in that game.
I've
I played
played
it-
it like I have all
What
the
the
secret
fuck
characters.
does
I
this
beat Subspace
mean?
Emissary. Never tripped once. Don't know what everybody's on about.
Okay, I'm gonna stop
Yeah,
this
no,
because
I
I
play
will
a
get.
lot
So
at
I'm
college.
gonna just get into. We're gonna get into rants, but I am
He's gonna
saying
get-
that
he's
they
gonna get
bitched over
triggered here in a
wave
second, so we need
dashing
to
and
move on.
tripping. That's the content of this argument.
Yeah, and then we'll go.
All
We
right,
don't want
I
Gold
don't
to be
know
going on
these
tirades
games.
now.
all right.
That'll be wasting
I'm going on to the
time.
next topic, guys. All right,
Talking about-
Xbox. Oh wait, Matthew. I don't even know. I didn't hear anything.
I said, the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what the fuck tripping means.
Matthew, just come out and say Melee is the best game, and then we can end it.
No, don't say. Just say it's not the best Smash Brothers.
Better stay on
It's
top. Stay on
definitely
topic.
the best.
Fuck?
Okay,
Yeah,
we're going on
I
to topic
have
number
no idea what
3
the fuck
today.
they're
Yeah.
talking about now.
And we're moving on. So Xbox is back in the news again, 2 times this week. This time on their not one in Scorpio, one without. On today we are talking about Xbox One removing snap mode once and for all. I have had time with this. I don't really care that snap mode's gone. I never used it once.
I
Oh my
never
God.
used it at all.
I
didn't
gotta
even
use
know what
it now.
was. I don't even
Now
know
that
what
I
it
know
was.
I'll never have it again, I gotta use it all the time. Xbox,
Can we talk to?
Snap
I think
YouTube.
Phil Spencer's emissary needs to speak right now.
Yeah, I'm essentially, you know how John was to Jesus. I'm like that to Phil Spencer.
Oh God.
That's actually not true.
The
I don't even know
the,
who's.
the
I've never
beloved
even met
one.
the man.
The beloved one.
Yeah. No, I'm in the preview build, so I guess I'm the best one to talk on this topic. I didn't use Snap that much personally. Like I used it for achievements and for party and that stuff. I'm glad. Like the new system they have reminds me a lot of the blades from the original 360, which I didn't get much time with because I didn't have a 360 then. But I know people, specifically Steven, who has started breathing very heavily.
That's
Really
the
like
noise
the
it makes
blades.
when it goes across the screen. It's cutting the air. It's so smooth.
It reminds me a lot of a mix of that with sort of the stylized look of the new UI that Xbox has been building. I like it. It's not fast yet. It's not 100% perfect yet, but I'm in the preview build, and I'm sure it will be great by the time it releases. So yeah, no, and the new Snap functionality they're introducing, it's not Snap, but it's the replacement for it. Looks fine. Looks like it'll work great. Haven't gotten my hands on with it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's just Phil further undoing what Xbox One was intended to be. It's just another step of removing all of this TV, always on DRM connects, watching you
Oh,
as
don't
you watch
remind me of that.
Cortana porn. You know, they're
Oh,
removing all of that.
Hey, it is a
It's,
PG-13 podcast. What
This
the
is
fuck?
family
Just
friendly,
throwing
man. Come
that
on.
in.
So it just feels like
It's not
it's
family
just
friendly. We can
another
cuss as
step
much
of
as we
turning
want.
this into a legit video game console and a less of a
Yeah.
this is a social media platform, which is
Right.
kind of what it was sold
Which is what
as.
we've
Well,
been
wrongfully
doing since
sold
the
as.
moment Phil walked into the head of Xbox office, essentially.
I mean, much
And that's
like
a good thing.
here's the thing, much like what happened with the PS3 back in 2006, which was a total failure in the first couple of years.
Yes.
The Xbox One was a total failure because of all the stupidness that the former guy did with the console back when it was first revealed. Now that Phil Spencer's in charge, it has massively changed. Unfortunately, still has yet to catch up. But that's a discussion for another time.
I
I
mean,
think
we're-
it's a
we're-
good idea.
Sales are better. We're getting there, which is an improvement.
There's still
Yeah,
just
it's
a
an
lot of
improvement.
bandwagoners.
There's
Who still
55
think-
million Xbox Live users on like a weekly basis now, which they announced like yesterday, and that's the largest Xbox Live has ever been.
Yeah,
So considering they're measuring their success more on how many people are using their service now, we're still growing in Microsoft's eyes.
Yeah, I think in terms of like mass appeal for the Xbox One, I think Phil's pretty much done all he can. I think what the Xbox is now in
The
terms
only-
of sales, I think it's always going to be second place this generation. But I think Phil's
main
positioned
issue-
them in a much better spot for next gen, or beyond
main issue-
generations, whatever you want to call it.
The main issue, and I said this in the last podcast, is the fact that there's barely any exclusives for the thing. I know this is going off topic.
Girls, you
But-
don't want to start rants with Tyler. But do you want to
Yes,
start this
yes.
rant where you get
We
absolutely
get Handball
wrecked into the
17.
ground?
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that's
we get
an
Handball
exclusive.
17.
It's the greatest
Well,
game of
no,
all
it's
time.
funny
Y'all
that
are
someone
so
says
forceful.
beyond, because we're not going to talk about this. Okay, Snap Mode's dead. I don't think any of us really give a shit. So, good
Yeah.
riddance.
Good. And
Yeah,
when
Goodbye.
Colton says it's getting
Bye-bye.
closer to the Blades, amen. It was the best UI they ever had, and I don't know and who the F thought it was a good idea to get rid of it. When you have perfection, why would you undo it? Just like the party.
Don
chat on Xbox
Matrix
One.
needs
You had
Zynga money.
perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Xbox
just
One
like,
Party
good
Chat was so
God,
good.
it was so good on the 360 party chat, the UI, and then it just like we just effed it all up, and now Phil's slowly over the years
And
trying to get it back. To
Don-
that.
Yeah, I had no
It
idea
was-
what Don
it was
Matrix was
beautiful.
smoking. I had no idea. I'm glad he's gone.
He's all
As
about
we've
said
said
making
many times,
connects.
Don Matrick is in fact gone because Microsoft had him killed.
Hey,
Yeah.
he's
They
all
took him to
about,
Canada, and we've never
and
heard
they
from him
also
since.
were all about selling $150 paperweights.
This is true.
What?
Yeah, the Kinect
Oh,
was
this is true.
a novel idea, but honestly, gamers have spoken. They want a controller in their hands. Period.
Or the
Sony
entire
tried
console
it.
in your
the
hands
Wii
if
was
you're
a
Nintendo.
fluke. You know, the Wii was a novel idea, but the
Yeah, the
Sony tried to
Wii-
mimic it. It failed. Kinect
I mean, the-
did the same thing. Overall, failed. It's just
The
we
thing
want a
was-
controller.
The Wii came out at the right time when everyone was into gimmicks and whatnot. So that's why the console got super lucky and sold a whole lot of units.
And it was also
Problem was, the
super
novelty
cheap.
wore out quickly. Yeah,
That's
and
true.
the problem was the novelty ran out really quickly. When Sony tried it with the PlayStation Move, that failed. When Microsoft tried it with the Kinect, that failed, and they even tried to bring that over to the Xbox One, that failed miserably because of the bullshit that was going on back during that year. You know, motion controls are the novelty's worn out, and I'm glad it's worn out.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next Xbox topic. Oh, great. So Phil Spencer. Funny that we mention him because he's gonna be in the news, the no Tavern news. So a guy tweeted at Phil Spencer saying, "Are we gonna be able to play games in 4K?" The guy Phil Spencer said, "Yes." Another guy tweeted Phil Spencer said, "Are we gonna play all games in 4K?" And he said, "No."
So
And that's
what's the point?
Yeah, I don't see why this is newsworthy personally, because if you look at what games, 4K is PC right now, pretty much. PS4 Pro has it kind of. Are we really going to call
Kind
Checkered
of.
true 4K?
It's
It has
up-
fa-
it's
it has
up- it's
fake
upscaling.
4K. Yeah, it's upscaling. So true 4K is really on PC, and it's even then like a niche thing. A lot of PCs can't run it and that sort of stuff. The fact that nobody ever expected Scorpio to have every game running in 4K. I doubt half the Xbox One exclusive games on that are going to have a Scorpio mode are going to run in 4K, and that's fine. It can
Also-
do
Yeah,
it, and
but
it can do
Isn't
VR.
it kind of also the game has to be capable of running it itself?
That's also a good point.
I mean-
if your engine's not capable of running 4K.
I'm just saying they
mean,
said
the
this
news
thing was the
doesn't
most
matter.
powerful console. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's
Thing
and
is-
more
me and
powerful
Colton and Tyler
PCs
talked
still
about
have
this
are
privately.
probably still going to have trouble running true 4K.
Exactly.
That's the
Every
thing.
game.
And, you know,
I think their sizzle reel, like I want to believe the Dream trailer from last year, was false advertising. I think they were talking out of their butts, seriously, was saying, "Oh,
What
it
did
can
they
do
say though?
4K."
They showed a
They
bunch of
said
flashy pictures of a freaking computer screen, or like
they
like
were
a
showing
motherboard,
their
and Todd Howard's
CPU.
face was on screen.
Yeah,
And that was it.
never
Todd
actually.
Howard's face was surrounded by the glow of heaven, looking down at the Scorpio, saying, "This is the best
Here's the
console of
problem.
all time. It can run things in
Uh-huh.
20K. Sony's a piece of shit."
Okay,
You know,
hold on,
It
everybody.
was
Let's
ridiculous.
get on topic
Bethesda,
here. I
Sony
just
has
want
always
to
been a
ask
piece
this
of shit. Let's be
question
honest.
because if every game, no, they did say, Todd Howard said that you can run Fallout VR on this thing, and so I did some research on this. If you want a console that could run Fallout VR, most of the games could be able to be played in 4K, and a good percentage of games now will have a 4K mode. 4K is
And
becoming
again,
the
it is whether or
norm.
not those developers want to make and waste the time to make their thing 4K. It is
going
on the
back to-
developers to
yeah.
take the time.
And going back to
Here's-
what Colt's saying, 4K is niche without a doubt. I'm saying probably 1% of Americans own it, and even smaller that worldwide. I'm really confused as to why Sony and Microsoft are trying to push this like this is the next big thing. I think it will
Yeah, I don't
in
get that
5
at all.
years. But it's
Yeah, I
not
don't
here
get that.
now. Give me better physics. Give me better AI. Give me new ways to play my games that are not motion control. That's what I want to see. So if you need new hardware to do that, great. But don't try to sell me on this, well, we need 4K. No, we don't. 1080p looks fine. Give me better anti-aliasing if that's the issue. Make it look crisper that way. Not try to cheat by just, well, it's 4K now. It's so much better. Like, give
You
me
know
a
what?
break.
What you
There's
just
actually-
said, 1080p looks fine. That's what a fucking console peasant says. Get out of my podcast, you console
Now-
peasant. No, I'm just
Now, let's
kidding.
actually talk
Playing
about.
this on Xbox on
Let's actually talk
Xbox
about the
One.
fact that
Master Race.
once this thing releases,
I'm dead inside.
I'm pretty sure the gaming companies are gonna have a field day because they'll have to make a game. They'll have to make sure that they can make a game for this specific console, but they also have to cater towards the older consoles, and of course it's a discussion for another time. But that's another problem because eventually when most people own more PS4 Pros than an older PS4, or when more people own more Xbox Scorpios than Xbox One, what do you think might happen? They'll probably discontinue support for the older consoles and push the newer hardware.
But it won't happen
Yeah.
that fast.
That's going to be
No,
a
it
bigger
won't
thing
happen
long
that fast.
term. It's like, what is the Scorpio? Is it next gen? Is it PS4 Pro? That's going to be once we get their confidence.
We've got a lot of conflicting reports on that because we've
Yeah.
got the white paper from just after E3 2016 telling us it's just kind of gonna be probably a PS4 Pro. It doesn't show all the specs, but from what it looks like. And then we've got the Ori and the Blind Forest developer coming out and saying, yeah, this thing's a beast. This is next gen hardware.
Yeah,
And
Sony's a
everybody's
piece
still
of crap. They
confused.
don't know how to develop anything. Our game is the greatest of all time. 10K. Bleh. Yeah, that's exactly what he
That's
said.
not what
exactly
also-
like
they
that.
did. They
exactly
did throw
like that.
shade. They did throw shade at Sony for being so. They didn't, because basically saying they didn't upgrade it enough.
Problem is Sony did it too quickly. It was way
They
too quick.
did. They were.
I mean, the
They saw the
PS4.
Scorpio
thing
at
rumors
this-
and
at
they're
that
like, oh
point,
crap, we got to do something, guys.
I mean, the PS4. I mean, fuck, the PS4. The base PS4 is only 3 years old. For God's sakes.
Yeah, no, I
That's
I
actually
agree.
another problem.
This mid-console refresh is the dumbest thing. I don't know why they did it. Honestly,
That's
I
actually-
don't get it.
This actually proves a theory that I had that the 8th generation consoles came way too fast, which is a weird statement to make considering how long the 7th generation lasted, which lasted for about a decade. And the,
It lasted a long
and the
time.
thing was, the main reason why it lasted a decade was because back around 2008, 2009, whatever the fuck, the economy went down the tubes. And so people couldn't afford a new console. Companies couldn't afford to create more advanced games because, the economy was shit. and so they stuck out with the 360 and the PS4. When the economy got better, that's when they started releasing the newer stuff, the newer hardware. The problem was PCs, the PC gaming industry, you know, just it skyrocketed like hugely. Like, have you seen how
Because
much the
PC
PC
Master
gaming
Race.
industry has changed in only 5 years? It's massive. It's light years away from what we have now. And that's the problem, you know, because it's light years away. I mean, these these two consoles are running on PC hardware that's from around 2012. And as technology gets better and better and better, and games are starting to get more advanced and get more prettier, Sony and Microsoft are like, oh shit, we gotta do something about this. And they're like, I know, let's upgrade the hardware. And that's exactly what they did as a quick fix to the situation. The problem was they didn't really Sony didn't really upgrade enough. And I barely seen shit from the Scorpio. Okay? I'm sorry. A picture of a motherboard and some cute backgrounds isn't gonna convince me that this thing's
In
powerful.
in
I
mid
want
But
to see
Todd
it
Howard's
for
face
myself.
coming down from the sun.
for I mean Todd Howard's face convinced me immediately. But I like Skyrim, so there is that.
I liked
Oh, God.
when they said
Oh,
12
God.
teraflops, and then people were like, "Oh,
It was
really?
6 teraflops.
Xbox, you got." And I thought it was 12.
No, it's 6.
I mean,
Oh.
It's always
Well,
been
but
6.
whatever.
still, I want to see.
And then they're like, "Oh, really, Xbox? You gotta make something up to make it sound more powerful." They didn't
I want
even
to
do
see
a
it.
simple.
That was
Google
every
search.
Sony. That was every Sony fan.
Yeah,
in the
they didn't
room.
even
Steven
do a
was
simple
literally doing
Google
that.
search to
What's
see
a
what that
teraflop?
unit of power is. It's
Yeah, I want to
ridiculous.
I don't know how
That's
to
my main issue
teraflop.
with and that's my main issue with the Scorpio. I have yet to see any of it. I hope we see some of it in E3, but I am not convinced.
Well, see,
We're gonna see it at E3.
see,
It's coming out holiday 2017 rules.
Well,
Is it
see,
really?
that's
Yeah,
why.
that's-
Is it though? That's the
Yes.
thing, though. It depends. If it's gonna be a beast, I could see them pushing it to 18. But if it's just gonna be a pro, yeah, I think it's coming out this year.
We'll see.
Because
They
Ryzen,
said holiday
the Ryzen
2017,
technology.
so
The
unless they're
dev from
show for
Ori and the
Scorpio-
Blind Forest, the most freaking
Yeah.
graphically demanding game on Xbox, said it's a beast. Okay.
which I think is funny. Good game, very pretty game, but that game could run like on a Switch. That game could run probably on a Vita. Like, bro,
It could
you ain't
run
making
on
no
a
Halo 5
smartphone.
or Gears 4. Like, come on, bro. Like, just slow your roll a bit.
It
Yeah,
is
we'll
a
see.
Slow your
beast.
roll.
I just think this mid console upgrade thing is dumb. I don't know why.
It defeats the whole purpose of consoles when you think about it.
Yeah,
whole
I get a
point of a
console for ease
console-
of use and a long term investment. Not like, oh, I've got to trade this in like a smartphone every 4 years
Yeah, so, I mean,
for slightly
See,
better.
I don't think you understand how powerful the Scorpio is, alright? It's like a toaster hooked up directly to the power line. That's how strong it is.
It's the greatest analogy in human history, I think.
yeah, you got a point. We'll see.
Okay.
I don't like the idea. I hate the idea of mid-season upgrades since day one, but we'll see.
I hate mid-season finales.
I know, right?
See, well,
It's the worst.
we for a long time we've had mid season upgrades, but it's just been like a console redesign and make it
Yeah,
cheaper.
redesign.
Because we did that
And
back on the
make it
PS2.
not break as much, too.
Now, the 7th generation kind of did this with the newer PS3 that came out in 2010, 2009-ish, and of
Dude,
course
this started
the
back
Xbox
on PS2.
360S.
Sony did it back on PS2.
Oh yeah, that.
They definitely did a slim model. They did 2 slim models. Where one is
Yeah,
like,
but-
I'm telling you, it looks like a paperweight. It's so small.
Yeah, but overall though, I don't really count those since it's pretty much the exact same hardware except it's smaller. you
Well,
know?
yeah, same with PS3. There was the Xbox 360 Elite, which is the slick black one, total redesign.
I mean,
That's fine. I totally am okay with
the
that.
main reason why I consider
also,
those
like, some
kind
of
of
those slim
upgrades
ones,
because the PS3
they
that,
were
that was
designed.
released around 2009, 2010 didn't have a shit ton of ports and it didn't look like a big giant fat whatever, It was more streamlined. And the Xbox 360S had a brand new motherboard that pretty much eliminated that infamous Red Ring of Death problem.
That's what I
It's a
was
very
gonna
good
say.
thing.
Both of those
But overall,
redesigns were redesigned to fix like major problems, cause like the PlayStation, the original one, the 3 Fat, it had some really big problem with it. I can't remember what it was, but that was like
Yellow Light
completely
of Death.
eliminated
I
with the
had it.
Slims. Yeah. So
It's
like,
very rare. It was never on the scale of the Red Ring of Death, but probably
It
one
was
in 10
there. It's an issue
consoles were
Sony
there.
doesn't want, so they wanted to fix it.
Yeah.
see,
And then they
unlike
also removed the motion engine, so they didn't have to do backwards compatible anymore. So that was another thing they redesigned.
see,
I mean,
unlike
of
the
course,
Xbox
those
One
might not
S,
count because, as you said, they were basically redesigned. They were just overhauled. But despite the overhaul, they are pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah,
You know, they have
it's
the
not
same
like all of a sudden
graphics,
oh man,
same
this
frame
game can
rate.
only run on this. Yeah.
You know,
by the way,
Which is what
the
I'm scared
Xbox
with the
One S
Scorpio.
does the exact opposite of what most redesigns do. It actually adds a
that's basically
problem.
What's the problem with the Xbox One S?
Occasionally they will just have terrible connectivity issues. Like you'll constantly get lagged offline and like
Oh,
signed out
yep.
of your profile until you hard
Oh,
reset it.
yep.
And
For the
I
longest
looked it up
time, I couldn't
online. That's
connect
a
with
fairly
Tyler
common
Hilton.
problem.
Yep. There's a lot of times where I just all of a sudden NAT issues, cannot connect, and I'm like, are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
with the Xbox One S, like it actually added a problem that the original ones didn't have, which that's a step
Which
backwards.
Which, from Phil's perspective, maybe this is why he's wanting to do the Scorpio so quickly in the generation. Something as powerful it is because he kind of wants to put his stamp on it. The Xbox One is not his console; it's Don Matrix's console and whoever else designed it. He was just kind of he was in charge of game studios, I think, at that point. And so I think he's maybe trying to put his stamp on it and kind of refresh the brand that was very badly damaged with the launch of the Xbox One. So, yeah, maybe this is them just kind of trying to do like a mouthwash kind of thing. Like, let's clean the palate,
yeah.
which is what
very
they
similar to
did
what
back in the
Sony
day.
did with, which is very similar to what Sony did back with the PS3 when it was announced because it had huge budget. It can do a whole bunch of things, but it had a whole bunch of problems. And they streamlined it and fixed a lot of those issues. And yeah, that's basically what this is, except it's on a grander scale because it's basically upgraded hardware. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Scorpio. All I gotta say is that I still need to see more of it to really be convinced that it's gonna be something special, unlike the PS4 Pro, which was basically slightly upgraded hardware.
Well, yeah, no, and that's the thing. Phil was watching that PS4 Pro conference like a hawk. Um, if they take away anything, for the love of God, don't make a conference that bad because that was terrible. Because
Ugh.
you can't show 4K over the internet. You can't. Or we don't have the infrastructure. People don't have the
Yeah, you
screens
can't.
to see it.
Yeah,
So you're gonna have to
how
figure
the
out a
fuck
better
are we
way.
supposed to know?
We
How the fuck
won't
are we supposed
know,
to know?
but they need to. Back in the day, they did an Xbox exclusive conference. It was some party in the frickin' desert. They need to do that again. Sony does it
That
every
was for the
Christmas
launch
now.
of a
They don't-
console.
Well, this is a launch of a console. Let's do that again.
That's
Let's
true.
have a big come
Yeah.
out for a weekend. Come
I mean,
try the Scorpio,
motherfuck.
and you can tell your friends how awesome it is.
I mean, motherfuck,
So-
remember back when the original Xbox came out? Holy shit, they
Wasn't
partied in
wasn't
the
Dwayne
streets.
Johnson on hand for that?
He probably was.
Yeah, in fact, one
The
of the
Rock?
early
The
Yeah, one
Rock
of the
was
early
there,
games
if I
was
recall
a-
correctly.
Oh,
yeah, because
shit.
it was for an early game that was going to be on the Xbox. I think it was one of those WWF games. But holy fuck, they partied in the streets. You know, they
The
got
World
consoles
Wildlife
signed.
Federation.
Yep.
Wow.
You-
They got signed. I mean, why can't we do something like that again?
I think they need
know?
to, honestly. I don't know why Phil
'Cause-
hasn't done it. I know money's a
Well,
factor,
I mean-
obviously, but
Because
So-
that party, I mean, what's good about that party? Because one thing, it tried to help the morale because 9/11 happened around that time, so they're trying to cheer people up again, and it worked. I mean, when the console
The
launched,
360 party?
no, the original 2002,
Okay, I was gonna say.
2001 Xbox.
Rules, you can try to
when that thing
justify
launched.
9/11, but you can't change the day that it happened.
Anyway, when that thing
boy.
launched, it was successful. Of course, it was probably due to one game, but it was still successful.
Yeah,
So do you
yeah, you
think
do it.
Phil was watching that PS4 Pro conference and being like, "What's this garbage? They're not even mentioning how many teraflops they have." This is
No,
a
He
he's
and
probably
Major
shitty
looking at
Nelson
it.
were
console.
sitting with a shared bowl of popcorn in his office, laughing their asses off.
I'm sure they were laughing,
They-
and then I'm sure they were
They
like,
can't even
"Oh,
say they
we."
have 6 teraflops of GPU power.
Well, they're probably looking like,
Fucking
okay,
nerds.
What is
this
teraflop
is
in
their strat-
Japanese?
Yeah, I just think they were looking. I don't think they were trolling so much as like, okay, they're launching a console that's very
Oh, yeah,
similar to
no.
ours, and how are they talking about it? Oh, this didn't go over. Look at how they presented it. Oh, that didn't go over well. Ooh, we were gonna do something similar. Maybe we need to maybe look at other avenues because this did not show well at all. And so maybe we need to have more games. Maybe we need to have more hands-on time. You know, that kind of thing.
Do you have anything to add, Tyler?
Oh shit. Okay, I was looking
Wow.
at. I was just looking at the
He's been
topics.
sitting there silently because
Very
we've been ranting.
professional. I was
As
looking
we
at
talk
Twitter.
an hour on this,
I
he's
was
like, "Oh
looking
crap,
at
Cortana
Twitter.
Yeah,
board."
dude, no, this podcast is already an hour and 10 minutes. And we haven't even
Wow,
hit
we are
the
We've been talking a
questions
lot.
yet.
We need to speed things up. Speedcast. Let's go.
Alright,
How many more topics do we have?
we have
A lot.
another topic and then we have 5 questions.
Oh God,
This is gonna be
we need to get
2
this
hours.
podcast down to like an hour and 20 minutes. Ain't nobody listen for 3
Unlocked.
hours.
Unlocked usually
You
goes
guys
for an hour
wasted so
45
much
if it's a
time
long
talking about
day,
the
and
Xbox
Rooster Teeth
One
usually does that. So I guess
dashboard.
we're about on par.
Alright, so you guys know we did the top 10 list, and this game, Inside, rated at number 2, only behind Uncharted 4. And then, so recently, out of nowhere, they've already teased their next project. It looks very World War II-ish, almost. It almost looks like it's going to be something in war. But in the same style as Limbo and Inside.
So-
Hopefully you guys have seen it and can comment on it now, but...
So I've seen it, but I'm actually going to go look it up again because you and I are talking about different, or you and I got different vibes. I mean, from it.
I have actually yet to see this. But it sounds pretty interesting. I mean, I haven't played the game yet. Well, this sounds
Where's
very
the Twitter
interesting.
picture? There it is. So this to me didn't quite give like a war feel because in this we've got a kid with a sled who's obviously in some sort of like Alaska style, Arctic style environment, and there's a meteor or a comet or a satellite or a spaceship or something that's just crashing in the distance. It's essentially a fireball. So I got a real like post-apocalyptic vibe off of this just because of how desolate it is. Could be something totally different. Absolutely. But
It's aliens.
it could be aliens. You never know.
It's totally aliens. I'm calling it right now.
Aliens.
Not saying it was
And
aliens.
It's always aliens.
But it was aliens.
It was
Do we have anything to
definitely
add? Otherwise, we're
aliens. It's
moving on
always
to the
aliens.
questions.
Is this unlocked block where you take on the challenge? Yeah.
I missed that original
What?
intro.
They don't do that anymore.
Listen to-
Maybe I just think I hear it when they do it.
Quick shout out to IGN's podcast Unlocked.
Hey, we don't promote other podcasts. They already
Fuck
got enough
IGN. They
subscribers.
wish they were
won't
this
pretend.
professional.
A lot of days they do.
Yeah.
At least we don't have
Oh,
dogs.
exactly.
Oh,
We'll work on that.
you want me to bring my dog in here? Is that what you're saying?
I already have a dog, and she's way better.
Yeah.
All right, well, moving on to the questions, guys. So these questions were brought to you by the internet, and one of them by Gruels. So let's get right into the questions. And if you guys want to, you guys can leave the questions down in the comments below, and they will most likely get featured.
Right into the questions.
Damn it, Jeffrey! I can't have his publicity with me.
Hey, any publicity is good publicity.
No, not with
That's
Keemstar.
GT
I don't know when
that's
he's gonna get
GTA's
roasted
motto.
next by Leafy.
I'll roast his ass right here.
Are you calling out
Oh, please
Keemstar?
get
Are
into
you
the
about to
questions,
expose him?
please.
Like
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Yeah.
For the love of God. I don't care about Keemstar.
I do.
All right, so we'll move on.
Yeah,
You
we
guys
know.
gonna name your
Xbox
least
bio.
favorite game of all time. The only condition to this is I'm changing it rules is that you actually have had to play the game.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Decisions.
That's hard,
And
actually. I can't. Well, actually, no, that
of
shouldn't be
all
difficult.
time
But
or this generation?
Of all time, you can pick anything you want. The only condition is you've had to play. It can't be something you haven't played.
most hated. That's tough because that's like. I don't remember all the games I've played this generation.
This generation?
You
Well,
can
no,
do
I
it
mean,
however
any
you
generation. I
want,
don't
but
remember all the games. I
I'm
don't remember all the
allowing
games I've
all
played,
time. Your
okay?
most hated game of all time. The only
Oh,
condition
wait.
is you've had to
Since
play
I
it. You
recently
can't go
played
off
this
something
piece of
else.
shit. Since I recently played this piece of shit and I hated it more than X6,
Oh, number
Mega Man
9?
X7
Oh, I thought you were
That
going to say
game.
number 9.
was awful. The voice
That
acting
game.
was awful. The idea for the 3D was awful. I mean, yes, Legends did it first, but it was done better. And this game tried to do it, and it sucked. It didn't work. The controls were clunky. The collision detection was awful. The hostage situation was they somehow made it worse than X6 because anything can kill those damn things, and you'll need them if you want to make the game easier for yourself.
Ghouls, are you just
Axel
mad you
was a
can't
piece
bum
of
rush
shit
the game
character.
anymore?
Well, the thing was, X6, you had Zero, and Zero was OP in that game. In this game, he was almost useless because of the 3D perspective, because he's a short-range character, right? And you can't really see what he's doing when he's swinging his saber, and his spiral attack isn't there anymore. He's pretty much really there for brute strength, and pretty much useless in 3D, and when it comes to the 3D sections because of his damn sword. Yes, you can lock on to shit now with X and Axel. Problem is, Axel all he gets is this dinky gun that you can't rapid fire at all. So you gotta constantly tap that damn button, and it hurts your thumb. And he's weak as fuck. The only good thing about it is that he can hover, but X is so much stronger than him in every single way that he's pretty much a useless character. And the story is atrocious. The graphics were okay for PS2 standards, but I hated that game. It was so frustrating. And fuck the final two stages. They were, especially the last stage of the game. It was basically a gauntlet. I don't know what they were thinking. Fuck that game. I hate it more than X6. I never thought I would see a day when I would hate something more than X6 because X6 was already a game I despised because of bullshit level design. This game I despise because of just everything about it. Horrible voice acting, horrible gameplay that just doesn't work for a Mega Man game. I despise that game. I hate every single thing about it. It was it was a chore to go through, and I really don't want to go through it again.
All right, next person, because this podcast is already at
Yeah.
an hour and 20 minutes, and we still have 4 other questions.
I'm still thinking. Somebody else go.
Mine would probably be Halo 5.
Oh, recent game.
Straight
No.
up, just most hated game of all time.
No, okay, no,
There's
I
a
just had to do
difference
that
between
to troll
disappointment
Colton.
and hatred. Jeez.
But no, most hated game of all time? It would probably have to be, there's a couple games I could probably put on there. But there is, a game on the, what do you call it? PS2 or whatever. It's called Jack X. I love Jack and
Jack X
Daxter
Combat
with
Racing.
all of my heart. It is probably the greatest franchise of all time. And because in past universes they've always done like a kart racer after 3 main games, they decided to do a kart racer. Or like I don't know, kind of this weird racer. And the story was meh. The racing was adequate, but not that good. But it was just kind of one of those things where, like, why did you had something that was perfection in terms of platforming with combat, mixed with kind of a more mature, edgy storyline, and characters, and instead we get a very mediocre vanilla racer. It just seemed unnecessary. Um, Eventually we got Uncharted and all this kind of stuff, but it was just I just don't understand their thinking on that. And it's kind of like
Well,
seeing your most favorite thing, and then someone just like taking a crap on it, and that's kind of what I felt
I
like with that game.
I personally think the last game they made, I think it was Last Frontier. I thought that game was a lot more atrocious.
I didn't play it, and he said specifically we had to play it because I saw the
Ah,
trailers and I saw how bad it was, and I was like, no, I can't. I can't watch my favorite dog get murdered in the street. That's not like I just can't.
All right. So for me, it's Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution
Is that what
because
that one?
So you half-assed this
I
answer.
like what?
You half-assed this
You
answer,
can't.
Jeffrey.
It's his answer.
Yeah,
you
you
can't
can't. We
chip in
can't.
on it.
We can't rebuttal. Just let it go.
Where are we at?
See,
I actually want to hear this.
I like
a
those
Naruto hater,
game
I'm interested.
series, you know? The fighting is fun. I like basically everything about it. But the mechanics they added to the fighting in that game were really stupid because they added this parry that basically if anybody was running towards you, you just are blocking and then press X and then they're stunned for like an hour, so you get a free ultimate jutsu, which basically is like your ultimate move and it does a crap ton of damage, so it's for free. Then they added this other thing that guard breaks and stuns them, and it's a usable item, and then that's stupid. And then they take the two things, which is you could either choose your ultimate jutsu, which is a really strong attack, or you could choose an awakening, which makes your like regular attacks even stronger. Usually you have both of those, but they separated those, and then they added a new type called drive type, which locks down that other type, and it's really overpowered. And so they just completely screwed up the fighting in that game, and they didn't add they added barely any new story from the previous game, so it's stupid. Fuck that game.
Believe it.
What they
Hey,
As
fixed
a
it
Naruto
in
hater,
for.
I fully approve this with that rant.
So
fixed it in
I
4, though.
actually came up with mine, and I'd like to go next before I lose it.
Fine.
All right, go.
Go ahead.
I honestly actually kind of had a toss up, but okay. So for the rule, well, no, actually, I kind of did. I was curious if the rules included because I've played the game I was gonna go for. I played it, but I didn't beat it. So I went for a game that I've beaten. I was gonna say Fallout New Vegas because I have a whole list of conniptions and issues with that game. Barely worth the $5 I paid for it on Steam. But I'm gonna have to say Assassin's Creed 3 because it's just a mixture of hatred and disappointment for me.
That is a good one. Yeah.
Because that game somehow took every facet that I loved and was hyped for about Assassin's Creed and just took a massive dump on it. Like,
You know,
it had a lot of great concepts. Like, the ship battling was an interesting thing. The homestead building was cool, if overly complicated. But it took Assassin's Creed out of its element, where when there were cities, they were spread out, they weren't fun, they weren't that tight, close quarters of, like, Renaissance Italy or Syria or something like that. They were these open colonial cities, which is historically accurate, but not very fun.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
Even a lot of the hype around like certain historical characters coming on scene, like Benjamin Franklin and George Washington and that stuff. I think George Washington is in the mainline version of that game outside of the DLC for like, I don't know, 10 minutes in total, which is just sad.
Okay, is that it?
I could go on for
I like how-
I like
Can we
the really
please
stupid
podcast about
DLC
that
they
game?
had.
Because I could go off on it.
I
like
like
the
how
really stupid
my
DLC
example
they had.
so far is the oldest out of all
that,
of
that
yours.
DLC. That DLC.
No,
is
I'm
just-
about
that
to
was so
beat
good.
you
you turn
because
into
I'm
bears
having
and
the
eagles and
oldest
shit.
game in Superman 64. I don't even have to explain it. Fuck that game. I own it. It's
That's
a
like
piece. Actually, I
stereotypical,
sold it.
Tyler.
I played it for about 20 minutes as a child, and then begged my mom to
you
go
enjoy
back to the
flying
store and
blue
return
wings?
it.
Was
there's
the
no
question
time
the
to waste.
worst or our most hated?
Most hated.
Most hated.
Okay, see, I don't even hate that game. Like, it is, like, god-awful. But I played it so much as a kid and, like, just didn't get it because I was, like, 9 or 8 or whenever I was playing it. I don't know. I just don't hate it. It's, like, laughably bad.
I mean,
Right. Yeah,
I
it's
had
even more
no
crying
choice
shame
but
when-
to play it. My mom would usually buy us an N64 game because at the time they were expensive as hell. Um,
$70.
Yeah, there were.
and
I
so
hate
I
the
was stuck with that game
nachos.
for about a month. I hate that game.
Oh,
That game was just so
and
bad.
it's
I
even
finally
more.
beat it. Probably like I didn't even like beat
What the
it when I
fuck?
got it. I probably beat it like 4 years later, and still hated it.
Wait,
But
you actually went
later,
through that
like
atrocious
probably
game
about 2 months ago, I
without the
went to an
cheat code?
indie store and they paid me $60 in-store credit to take it off my hands. That was the best money I ever spent.
Ever
You
received.
know, it's more of a shit. It's sad. I mean, when you look at, because a year later, Spider-Man 2000 came out, and that game was fucking great for its time, and it's even more of a, and that just is even more of an example of how bad Superman 64 is, because Spider-Man 2000 was made on similar hardware, but it was superior and stayed true to the character in every single way. Superman 64 did not. All it was about was fly through rings, do this stupid task, fly through more rings, do this dumbass task. Glitchy, glitch, glitch. Barely enough time to get through anything. Text moves too fast. You checkpoints are abysmal. Yeah, I don't blame you for hating that game because
All right,
while it is a
Matthew, go.
stereotypical example, it is notorious.
Yeah, please go.
Alright, it's a game from the original Xbox. I think it was a Matrix movie tie-in, and
That game
god
sucked.
awful.
I had it on PS2.
No,
Yeah.
Enter the Matrix. I remember this game. I played it.
Oh. Yes, that one. The
I,
movie
th- I
tie-in game
think
for the Xbox, for the
Dang.
original one.
Okay.
I also
Please
want
move
to
on,
add
Tyler.
Tony Hawk's Project 8 and Tony Hawk's Proving Grounds. Those
This
games are out.
podcast is
What about
so
Tony Hawk
long. I'm
5?
starting to feel like Punished Snake.
Well, I
Oh, the
can't
new
help
one? I
it.
haven't played it. I played those other two though.
All right.
it's not
This
Tyler's
one's
fault.
another weird one that I found. This one was brought to you by a dumb website. A supermarket cashier is being rude. How do you handle it?
Oh.
Supermarket cashiers being
Rude. How do you
what?
handle it?
I
How do I
call
handle
the
it?
store manager, who is also my uncle, and get them fired.
Silently condemn them and then just leave and ignore them.
I
I
would
say
just
something to him.
simply say, I don't have to deal with your bullshit. Thank you very much.
Ooh.
Well, it
Walk
depends
to
on
my
how
car,
rude, too.
Get my mask.
Because, like, is it to the point of, like,
blocking?
blocking me from going about my day? Because then I do something like that or say something. But if it's just, like, they're
Matthew,
just being
I hate this
passively rude to me, I just put up with it and move on.
Oh,
Tyler,
I have
you know
another
who heard
one.
me.
I have another one. Okay, go, Matthew. Go. What'd you say?
He's having a breakdown.
What'd you
I've never heard
say?
him laugh
I
this
would
much.
go- I said I would go to my car, put my stuff away, get my mask and gun, and shoot her in the head.
Oh my god.
Christ, dude.
Okay. So my other one is not as dark as that. It's I would say, damn, I knew I was working. I knew I was having to deal with the ugly cashier, but I didn't know it was the ugly and rude cashier. I
Dude,
make fun of
burn.
them for being ugly.
Damn,
Mm.
I don't feel so
But
bad
then
anymore.
and then I'd go to the cute cashier, because there's always one cute cashier.
And she treats you a lot worse.
Yeah, but I got a boner while she's doing that. That's
You're fucked up, Jeffrey.
I know that's.
This went bad real quick.
This is the part of the podcast I love.
That's hey man, being Oscar, thanks. Could you spit in my face too? Nah.
Okay, back to the original topic. All right,
Please move on.
I'm
Please
doing my
move on.
answer.
Please get
Here's
started.
no. I want everybody to do this that is listening to this. If someone's being rude to you, not in general, just not a cashier, but anyone in general, I want you to play the rude game with them. I want you to get so rude until you have to do just mention things in life that will make them. That's how I win. Because if you play,
Now,
if
don't
they're
follow
rude
my
to you and you're
example.
nice back to
Don't follow
them,
my
they win.
example.
They think they can win. But no, you win. You prove how bitchy of a person you can be.
Yeah, just be like, hey, you know what? I get that you're salty because you work for fucking minimum wage, and you gotta look at all my shit that I can buy, and you can't buy any of it. But that's not my problem, okay? Now I'm gonna go back home, to my nice things. I don't have nice things, but I'm gonna pretend like I do in this fantasy world. I'm gonna go back to my nice house and my nice things, and I'm gonna be like, damn, I'm glad I don't have to be a bitchy cashier, bitch. And then
I'm
call
glad I
him a
have my
bitch again
Cortana
for
porn.
effect. Yeah,
Steven's only contribution.
exactly.
You're such a savage, dude.
All right, Steven, you gotta do your thing, and then we're gonna move on to the next question. How do you handle a rude cashier?
I'll start off passive aggressive and be like, just kind of making like little underhanded comments and stuff. But if it like, depending on the level of severity, is if I go nuclear or not, and say, you know what, I think we need to go speak to a manager. It's like
So,
we ain't playing
tell
this
'em-
game.
Tell them to go back to their third world country and eating their garbage tacos.
Yeah, go eat your garbage tacos in San Antonio. Like we're in Austin. This is the greatest place in the world.
Third world.
Eat-
No,
third
you
world
said
country
third
of
world
San
country.
Antonio, everybody.
Mexico.
Yeah.
We're not building the wall
Yeah.
between us and Mexico. We're building it between us and
So
San Antonio.
what you're saying is the cashier is rolling.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Wow.
And I've got
If
20
Roland
more.
watches this,
You
he's
gotta
gonna
end their
cry.
career.
All right, we're moving on to the
Are we
next
gonna
thing
end
here at the
Roland's
Nerd
career?
Tavern. We're gonna identify
Yeah,
our
we did.
weaknesses. You guys have to name your 3 weaknesses. Go.
3 weaknesses.
Tits and ass. There you go.
That's 2.
That's 2.
Nah, and.
And is not a weakness. Pick another one.
Yeah,
The word
Yeah,
And
well,
for
there's
me.
there's two
weakness.
boobs. There's 2 boobs. That's 2 right. There's 2.
Oh,
right.
okay. Each one counts. All right.
Okay.
Individually.
Oh, yeah. I didn't
Well,
think
I mean,
about
there are
that.
two
That's a good
asses.
one. Boom.
What about that one chick who has 3?
From
Think about
frickin'
That's the dark
Total
times.
Recall?
I don't like Total Recall, yeah.
Good. So Total Recall and Ray William Johnson.
Total Recall's great.
Eh.
That's a
You're
great
already
movie.
original.
The remake
Okay,
is good,
we're not
and the
gonna go off
original's
topic on
good.
Total Recall.
the old one's a classic. Y'all just need to stop hating.
I'm a
Shoot
hater,
perfect
hater.
negatives out of
Damn, I'm
style.
fucking good.
What kind of weaknesses should be specified here? Because
I don't care. You can have any
Personal
weakness in the
weaknesses.
world.
See, I'm not good at talking in real life. Boobs. Yeah, like, I will stare at them.
Wow.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Okay, I'm gonna just not even. Ghoul, it's okay, everybody. All right, I'm gonna do mine.
Let it
All
go.
right, number 1,
Yeah.
I have to eat constantly. If I go out and I need to eat, I have to eat. It's just like I don't even care if I had like $10 in my bank account and it was decision
there
to
we go.
pay rent or go eat at Taco Bell, I'd probably eat at Taco Bell.
That's actually another weakness. I
That's
eat
kind
when
of a
I'm stressed
weakness.
out. There we go.
Rent versus so Tyler's always stressed out.
I eat when I'm usually stressed or something. So yeah. That's another-
Second
that's another
thing
weakness I can name.
is probably I don't know if you can even count this a weakness, but I'm a guy who I can be a real big ass, but I'm okay with it. I don't care. I don't please anybody. It's a weakness. I don't strive to make anybody happy. I don't care.
Oh, we know.
See?
Yeah.
People can back me up on that. And then number 3 is you know what? Everyone else is doing it. I'm gonna go with boobs as well.
Okay. So I was just
I was only
joking
joking.
before. Here's my real weaknesses. Don't tell anyone.
But you're telling the internet.
Bullets, being stabbed,
Like
and
the
blunt
internet
force
will care.
trauma. Those are my weaknesses.
All right, no, come on. We gotta actually get this going. It is already an
Okay.
hour and 40-minute podcast.
Steven,
What
go.
the-
Nah, alright, nah, for realsies though, for reals. on the real. Okay.
Just say it, moron.
Fuck you. You know,
Being called moron.
hey, I'm a smart
Seriously,
cookie.
nothing.
My
Okay.
mom says I'm a smart cookie. Um,
She's the only
I-
one.
I procrastinate. You know, 'cause that's what I do. Um, uh, uh, um, shit. I didn't think this through. I don't think things through. There we go.
I'm like,
And I'm a cynical asshole, and I hate most things. Boom.
Cool.
There we go.
Yeah, skepticism is another thing I could probably add.
Steven, go.
It's cynicism with me. I just straight up hate things I don't
Like
understand.
my weaknesses,
yes.
I'm fat. I'm a realist to a fault, and I play on Xbox.
Dang.
Okay.
Too legit and one troll.
Matthew,
Gotta give that.
Hey, we had to go. We had to wrap this up. We gots to go.
dude, no, I got
Okay,
two
I
questions.
I like Jay procrastinate. I tend to be a relatively angry person, and I
the
don't
racism.
I don't generally tend to like people, which is
Oh,
weird.
Specifically,
I know.
people
Yeah,
of
I
certain
know.
races.
No.
Mexicans.
It's not a race thing. It's literally just people in general. We went through
It's
this
a
the other day where
Mexican
you guys
thing.
wanted to do something, and I was just like, nah, I don't want to do anything with any human being right now. I just want to do my own thing.
Yeah, Colton told us to go F off.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I said. I totally didn't say it politely.
All right, Matthew,
Tyler, did
go.
he say it that way?
Yeah, go.
Alright. My three weaknesses are being lit on fire. Don't
God damn
it.
Stairs.
Stairs. Sometimes I can be a bit of a sociopath and can't really read a situation well when I talk to people, and that leads to certain problems.
Do those problems
my
usually
rule-
end with you putting a corpse in the trunk of your car?
Like Matthew,
No.
this is a funeral. You shouldn't be laughing,
My other
especially
problem
not
is
maniacally.
yeah. My other problem is that I don't. I may not seem that I get angry, but when I get angry, I get physically angry.
I want to
Oh, yeah,
see
I
Matthew
that.
get
That's
super
some
angry
scary
now.
shit. He punched a
Dang.
fucking wall.
So, spring break,
Yeah.
I'm getting Matthew super pissed.
No, you don't want to. You fear for your life, I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you right now.
Jeffrey, you're gonna join in. That's the goal. I'm waiting for Matthew to go on the killing spree.
Fuck.
Killing spree.
All right. Okay. Next question. Who is or was your celebrity crush? I'm kicking it off. Jamie Lynn Spears, because of Zoe 101. That show was my shit. Next person. She was beautiful. Beautiful.
Fuck, I don't have a good one.
Zac Efron.
Always a viable answer.
Mm.
He's a handsome man, what can I say? You know, if I was forced, I'd choose him.
If Jeffrey was gay, he'd go Zac Efron.
Hell yeah, you already know. All about that High School Musical.
But he's not gay. But he
Okay.
does want equal rights.
Yeah. I'm not gay, but if I
Somebody
was, I'd want to marry who I like.
Just stop singing. Somebody move on.
Can it be someone that's from something that I don't give a shit about?
Sure.
Victoria Justice.
Oh.
Zoe 102, Zoe 101 cast members hit us up at Nerd Tavern.
Oh, she was on Zoe 101. I forgot about that.
Someone needs to pick another Zoe
I forgot
101
about that
cast
too.
member. We got this shit on lockdown.
Chase from Zoe 101.
Damn it, dude.
That hair gets me every time.
Jesus.
Steven, go.
I need to stop picking
Hugh
dudes
Jackman.
right now, you know? Oh, hell yeah. Shit.
I honestly expected Jason Momoa, but
Dude, you know he's just so perfect when Ryan
Hugh
Reynolds
Jackman?
wears them on his face.
Yes, exactly.
Like, that's how handsome he is that Ryan Reynolds wanted to be him in
True.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds is already a good-looking guy, so...
He was sexiest man alive of 2015.
See his
Just
wife.
saying.
can my celebrity crush be Ryan Reynolds' wife?
No, it could be Ryan Reynolds,
Because I
though.
mean,
Yeah,
No.
pick Ryan Reynolds.
definitely Reynolds' wife.
Yeah,
You
just
ain't-
take
No,
off
is
the
she a celebrity though?
wife, and then that's his answer.
I honestly don't know her name. I just know that, I mean, even when Ryan himself literally is in like red carpet photos, just staring directly at her boobs, it's
That's it. Yeah,
it's
that's it.
she's something else.
Kate Dennings.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
That is a
I think
great
I'm the only one who
answer.
hasn't officially answered, but I don't have any celebrities that I'm
Right.
really.
Bullshit. Everybody
I guess
does.
Like for
the
realsies
oh
though.
god.
That's a
Yeah,
great
for realsies, because
answer.
it has to be a real celebrity. And I'm thinking of like all the actresses from like my favorite shows, and I mean they're all like.
Okay, so
I
like
don't-
I'm gonna get a real answer. Just let
It's-
me open up my
it's
porn folder
either
real quick, you
between-
know.
It's either. Well, no, actually.
Just pick somebody. It's not that hard.
Under pressure. I don't know her actual name, but the chick who played Anara from Firefly.
Which one
Thank-
was that?
She was the escort on
Okay.
Firefly.
What is
she
an
was- he-
escort?
He really means Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson is not bad. I mean, that's like. She's way hotter as Black Widow than she is like as she normally looks, but
We will know if they ever do a Halo
He has a
live
thing for
action.
redheads confirmed.
I mean,
All right. Has everybody
Let's go.
gone?
Live action.
Tyler, have you gone
Alright.
yet?
Yes, I said Jamie Lynn
Tyler's
Spears.
gone.
We're trying to get the Jamie Lynn Spears like cast on Nerd Tavern. Damn.
Oh, I got it. I
What?
got it. Aubrey Plaza. Boom. There you go.
Not wrong.
Matt, did you answer? Because I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Kate
Yeah, he
Dennings.
answered.
Dennings.
Zoe,
Okay.
Zoe 101,
That means
cast member.
okay. All right. So okay, final one. All right. Which nickname would you give everybody based in the group off personality alone?
Oh no, you do not. You don't want to know.
I'm about
Yeah,
to
but,
do this.
like,
All right.
every-
I'm
like,
I'm rallying.
We
I'm
don't
gonna.
have enough.
I'm rallying them off
We don't
here.
have time
Ghouls
for
is
everybody to
Chun
do
Li
5
porn
minutes.
lover, Colton Cortana porn lover, Jeffrey's procrastinator 99, Matthew's killer, and
Procrastinator, masturbator.
Steven is Savage 101.
Damn it, that's what I was gonna fucking pick.
I was gonna say career ender, but
Okay.
Good gosh.
Okay, my turn. Tyler. Destiny hater.
Okay,
Back
that
up.
works.
Destiny burner because he despises that thing with a passion, and he wants to burn it with fire.
I do.
Oh, we're waiting for
Colton.
10 years.
Total Microsoft fanboy. Jay.
You're one to
angry
talk,
competitive
man.
nerd.
Wait, what? What's
Jay,
mine?
angry competitive nerd.
Oh.
oh, shots fired.
Matthew,
This
the
section
silent
is
guy.
gonna ruin friendships.
Yep. Saw that one coming.
And Zulok, the okay guy.
The
Man,
okay.
that's
That's okay. That's
Mm.
fucked up. All right. So
the
here's
ender
mine.
of careers is just okay.
Yeah, he's all right.
So here's
8 out of
mine.
10. Too much career ending.
Yeah, because he's chill. That's why.
Like Skyrim with guns.
Okay, who's gonna burn? who
Jeffrey's
now?
going.
Colton, the most racist person I know. Uh,
Most racist kid you
Matthew
know.
would kill you in your sleep.
Wow.
Gruels is fuck Gundam Seed Destiny.
I hate that fucking piece of shit fucking anime.
Girls, calm down, bro. Your blood pressure.
Steven is the man who will make you want to leave the party just with a sentence.
Man.
And
You
then
mean
Tyler
leave this plane of existence?
is oh, I got it. Locke's #1 fan.
Thanks, man. That means a lot.
Yo.
Thanks, bro.
And mine is Pussy Destroyer 69.
Oh, I'm done. Wow.
That sounds like
My name on every
I'm not
dating
even gonna
site,
say it.
ladies.
Who's next? I don't
All right,
know.
who's going next?
All right, it's either Steven, Colton, or Matt. One of you go.
I'm still thinking of mine. Somebody else go.
Okay, so Matthew is the silent warrior. Jay is Dark Souls scrub. Uh,
Oh!
Colton is Phil's #1 fanboy. Who else is in the party? Gruels. Gruels
Me.
is PlayStation's Bay. And then
Oh,
Tyler
thank you
is
very
Locke's gay lover.
Dude, I'm okay. Hey, dude, I'm not gay,
You
but if I
think
would
I'm
were, I
complimenting
want
him.
equal rights.
Yeah, he just took that as a compliment.
I knew you would. That's why I said it.
Tyler wants
Dude.
lock meat confirmed.
Dude, I'm not gay, but if I would, I
That's
want
messed
equal
up.
rights. It's not fair that the government
I'm
has
on
to
Team
say.
Master Chief, but I'd rather have Linda than anybody else. So
Well,
All right, Colton, Matthew, go. It's 1:50 right now. This is gonna probably be a 2-hour podcast. For the love of God.
okay,
we
so
gotta tighten this up next time.
Yeah, I don't. Matthew, go. I'm
All
terrible.
right, all right. Tyler, you will now be known as the man who buys my games.
He's
Did
like,
I- did-
he's like your
wait, you
sugar
called
daddy
me
for
the man who
games.
buys you games?
Yes!
Kind of has a
He
point.
wins! He wins! He wins!
I could not legitimately hear you.
Yeah, that's what he called you. The man who buys my games. That's essentially what he said.
He fucking wins.
All right, all right, all right. Girls, you'll be known as Mega Man Man. I
I'm
hate
okay with
Script,
that.
but don't put anything else. Jay. Let's see. I'll skip you for now.
The
Colton,
savagery is about to be there.
you are now called Halo Rage.
Not entirely wrong.
Oh, that's a
I
good
accept that moniker.
Steven, you will now be known as the cook, I guess, because of all the roasting.
Too many cooks, too many cooks.
Wow, of all the people I expected that to come out of.
Dude, that is like one of the greatest YouTube videos ever made.
All
All
right.
right. Oh, it's just down to me. I don't have any good.
Wait, no. Matthew hasn't done Jeffrey.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, you gotta
let's
roast Jeffrey.
Let's see. Jeffrey. The man who asks many questions.
True that. All right.
I mean,
Colton,
it's
go.
true. I'm
Okay,
curious,
um,
like Curious George, you know?
Oh. God. Gruels is probably the man who has a master's in animal husbandry with colossuses.
What the heck?
You did defend bestiality of the Colossus. I'm just saying, but I'm gonna talk about that on a later episode.
You guys are all just
What did I
going
just
to heck.
hear?
That reaction though. That's what made it better.
Oh, it's so good.
He got salty for real.
Jay
You better not.
Jay is probably the fat raging procrastinator.
Damn.
You are a piece of shit.
Steven is the Steven is punished Steven, ender of careers.
So yeah, I
who
definitely
am I not
changed
to-
mine for
Matthew-
Colton to the biggest piece of shit I know instead of biggest racist I know.
We can get salty about it.
Matthew is the one who kills you in your sleep. I can't think of a better
fucking
way
stole
for
that
it.
from me.
He's gonna kill. Wait, did you say that?
Yeah,
Okay, then
that's
Matthew's
exactly
now
what
silent
I said.
assassin. Matthew is silent assassin.
Wow,
And
that's so
Tyler,
edgy.
I can't think. Tyler, it's really hard because Tyler and I have such a long history that I can't think of a good name. I have a great one that I'm not going to say.
Bad.
No, I can't
Yeah.
do it. I can't do it.
You're calling me a lure for bestiality for rock people. Come
You've
on,
already
say it.
said worse for me too.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you really want me to do it? I
don't
have free
care.
reign to say this.
So this is
pussies,
gonna end the
Vito.
podcast right here. This is gonna be the ender.
Don't be a yeah.
No, because I gotta do the outro.
Tyler is the man who sucks Locke's cock.
That's not
If-
that
Leaving
bad.
it.
You made that
Aw,
sound
bad
like
to me.
this
I was
didn't
expecting it to be more epic.
Okay.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
I don't care.
thought
All
you
right,
were
guys.
about to
Thank you
fucking
guys so much for
destroy
watching the podcast this week. I'm sorry for it being so long. I'm gonna try and trim it down. But as you guys know, you guys can subscribe to this channel. It's gonna be uploaded every single Sunday. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time on the Nerd Tavern podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.